You ever start a new project and somewhere along the way you just get completely lost? You start wondering, what's the point of all this anyway? Well, it turns out that sometimes the answer to our biggest questions, our why, isn't in some big, grand plan. Nope, it's hidden in the frustrating, messy detours we're forced to take. This is a story about exactly that. Ah, yes, the big one. What's my why? It's the question we all ask ourselves when we're trying to get motivated or trying to convince other people that what we're doing actually matters. For one writer, though, trying to nail this down before she could even start her project, well, it sent her down a surprisingly twisted path. She felt like she needed this deep, fundamental why before she could even write a single word. But the real answer, the true motivation, wasn't going to be found in some perfectly crafted mission statement. It was hiding somewhere she never, ever would have thought to look. So, to figure out where she was going, she did what a lot of us do. She started by looking back. She started digging through her old work, her past career choices, and you know what? The first clues were hiding in plain sight, right there in her own blog archives. A few years back, she'd come up with a theory for why she blogs. It was a way to organize her ideas about life, tech, and society. To share her knowledge. It sounded perfectly logical, very professional. But was that the real story? Was that the whole truth? See, her journey it was anything but a straight line. She actually wanted to study English literature. Her whole goal was to understand what makes people tick. But instead, she kind of fell into a career in computing. A total accident, as she puts it. And the crazy part, this accidental career gave her exactly the insight into people she was looking for all along. She had this incredible realization that watching people use technology, and let's be honest, struggle with it, gave her a much deeper understanding of human nature than her original plan ever could have. So her whys seemed to be about sharing these unique insights she was getting from this totally unplanned perspective.
Okay, so this is where the story takes a sharp turn. Armed with all this self-reflection, she finally starts her new project. But what started as a simple creative idea, making a visual summary of her work, quickly turned into an absolute technical nightmare. And this detour, it ended up being the main event.
The goal, it sounded pretty cool, right? Take her entire blog and turn it into a word cloud. Just one single image to represent years and years of writing. Simple, easy. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, pretty much everything. First, she exports the database, and it's just a mess of code. Then she tries to convert it. Error. Okay, plan B. An old PDF version of the blog. Tries to upload that, and the system just hangs. Every single step just created a new, even more infuriating problem. You can almost feel the headache building, can't you? And this is a feeling I think we all recognize. The nitty-gritty of the task, the what and the how, it all just became, in her words, a total faff. It was so annoying and complicated that the whole process just completely buried the original purpose. But it was right here, smack in the middle of all that technical frustration, that the breakthrough happened. That obstacle wasn't just an obstacle. It was the answer. It was the why she had been looking for all along. And boom, there it is. In a moment of pure annoyance, she realized what was really driving her. It wasn't just about understanding people through technology. It was this deep desire for technology to actually serve people, to help us, not get in our way. This one sentence, born out of total frustration, was way more authentic than any of her earlier theories. And with that new clarity, her original mission, that word cloud, suddenly just felt empty. Kind of a gimmick, really. I mean, what's the point of a pretty picture of words if the process to make it highlights such a huge fundamental problem with technology itself? This is where she really saw the difference. That word cloud, that was just information. It was a jumble of words, no real context. But what she was actually after, that was wisdom. Those hard-earned gems of insight that you only get from real experience and from connecting with other people. And that, right there, brings us to the final, really powerful conclusion of her journey. This whole search, it wasn't about data or clever graphics. It was about something much, much more human. So, her idea of wisdom wasn't just about knowing a bunch of stuff. No, it was about that deeper understanding you get from living, from experiencing things, from connecting with others. It's something that has to be earned, not just, processed by some algorithm. So, in the end, her true why wasn't just about organizing ideas or complaining about clunky software. It was about taking her own unique, accidental journey and turning all that experience into wisdom that could actually help someone else. And so, one huge question gets an answer. But like always, that just leads to more questions. Discovering your why is amazing, but it's really just the beginning. The real work starts with what comes next. What are you going to do with that knowledge? And how will you even know if it's making a difference? That's something for all of us to think about.